So a handy little tool when you're trying to edit and proofread a Word document is the Find and Replace tool. So I'm just going to show you here some ways in which you might use it. So I've got a sample document here on umbilical disinfection options in large animal neonates, and I'm assuming I've written it and I'm now about to proofread it to check for errors. So you can see in the first line here I have novel ill in brackets as the colloquial or layman's term for infection of the umbilical remnants. Now, that should be navel. That's the term we're referring to here, N-A-V-E-L. But because novel, N-O-V-E-L, is a word, the automatic spell checker in Word hasn't flagged that this is incorrect, even though in the context it's not correct. So what I'm going to do is, you could obviously just go and type A instead of O and save the changes in your document. But then you would have to, read the document and look for every single time you'd said navel and replace it. So a more straightforward way is to use the tools in Word to help you. So for example, there's a tool called Find and Replace, which is in the Edit menu. So you can see here we've got the option to find. You can just ask it to find a word. So for example, I can ask it to find, let's say umbilicus up here. So you can see in the top right as I'm typing in the word, it starts to highlight it in the document for me. So if there's a word that you want to check you've spelled it correctly through the document, you can do that. Or in this case, I know that I've a habit of spelling or typing novel when I mean navel. So you can see here it's flagging it for me. So that can be a handy way to flick down through the document and just find highlights if the word has been in there more than once. I can also do a more advanced version where I tell the editor to find and replace. So now I had this option here. I want to find novel and replace it with navel. Okay, and then I can tell it to just replace it once or replace it all. I don't know how many times I've got navel in this document. I suspect it's not very many, but I'm going to tell it, okay, go ahead and replace them all just in case. And it says, right, we made one replacement. So it's telling me I've only had novel in here once. Perfect. So you can see it's now changed it, and if I save it, my document, that change is now saved. Why would you want to not want to replace them all? It could be because somewhere else in the document I might have used novel in the context of a book. So in that case, I wouldn't want to change every single option. So that's why it gives me the option to find them all or to do them one at a time. Okay. It also defaults to ignore case. So it will, it'll treat novel at the start of a sentence with a capital N or within the sentence with a small n as the same. You might want to turn that off if you're dealing with somebody's name, for example, where you want it to always have a capital letter at the start. So there's a few different options you can do in here, but that's a quick overview of how to use it. Other things you can do with it is you can also ask it to, if we go back up here for a second and close that menu and go up to File, and again we've got Find and Replace. Advanced Find and Replace gives you a menu then where you can tell it to look in the main document. If you had appendices, you can tell it to only look in the appendices, for example. Then it wants to know, okay, what do I want to find novel? What do I want to replace it with navel? And then I can tell it to do all or just this one. And you can also ask it to go to a specific page number. So that's just a quick overview of how it works. If you can't find the Find and Replace tool in the menu, because it depends on the version of Word you're doing, if you go into Help and type in what you're looking for. In this case, if I go to Help and type in Find, it gives me various options here. If I go down to say Find and Replace, it'll show me Find and Replace is in the Edit menu over here. So that's a handy tool as well to help me sort out where the particular tool is in the version of Word that you're using. So that's just a handy way to speed up the proofreading, particularly if you know you have certain words that you tend to habitually accidentally mistype.